Hi everyone, it's my pleasure to be here today with you. Today I have the honor to talk about the challenges that tourism is facing thanks to this pandemic. I have to say that the challenges of the tourism sector are the same before and after the pandemic. The thing is that COVID-19 has accelerated these challenges. I would start by saying that the 5 challenges that the tourism sector has are: first of all, innovation; second of all, education; third of all, investments; fourth of all, added value jobs; and fifth, or last but not least, sustainability. When we are talking about innovation, the main focus of our job is improving the tourism innovation ecosystem. I have to say that thanks to this journey, we need to improve the connection between governments, startups, investors, academia, of course, institutions, and the national governments. Today, I have to say that those connections have been improving the way we are innovating. Nonetheless, we need more pilot projects between startups and corporates. We need a more serious supply chain between providers and corporates that are buyers of those technologies that the startups develop. We need a more interesting venture capital culture. Just some facts and figures. The last year, $22 billion were invested in tourism startups. That's amazing because besides the pandemic, venture capital was increasing. Nonetheless, those entrepreneurs and those startups that received investment, 80% of them were based in the US and China, that are the more mature innovation ecosystem. So my question here is, what is happening with the other countries? What is happening with the tourism innovation ecosystem? We need to improve more in order to bring those capitals to emerging markets as Latin America, Asia Pacific, and African countries. That's why our role through startup competitions, challenges, innovation forums that are the UNWTO Tourism Tech Adventure Forums are part of the key strategies in order to foster a more mature tourism innovation ecosystem. Another fact, I don't know if you know, but from the 100% unicorns that are enterprises that are valued on more than $1 billion, only 5% are from the tourism sector. We need to help the internationalization process of the entrepreneurs. We need to connect them with investors, with corporates, with governments, etc. Second great challenge that we have, education. I don't know, once again, if you know, but this is really important. Tourism is the top employer of women and youth. Nonetheless, 50% of the young, talented minds working in tourism only have secondary skills. If we want to develop a high-level economic sector, we need to improve education. And digital education is here to stay. Thanks to digital education, we can scale up the way people are educated. Our aim this year is to have at least 30,000 new students in our UNWTO Tourism Online Academy. And how can we do this? Of course, developing partnerships with top universities. It doesn't matter if they are focused on managerial or vocational skills, but we need to improve the way people get a certificate in order to have a formal career and a formal professional path in the tourism sector. And of course, if I'm talking about innovation, that is the sector for youth. If I am talking about tourism, that is the sector of youth, of course, innovation and education has to be aligned if we want the third challenge, that is added value jobs. As I already said, 100 million jobs are under risk thanks to this pandemic. But of course, if we don't have people with a professional certificate, if we don't get the tools to help them to access, how we can preserve those jobs. So that's why inside our public policies from national governments, in our commercial strategies from the corporates, from the big hotel chains, from the big airlines, from the SMEs, in every single company that is working in tourism, every single company needs to have an innovative mindset, but of course, a strategy to train their employers to be better and to develop what always the people that work in education says, to be a lifelong learner. It means to study, to learn, to relearn, to unlearn, but we need to help people to gain new skills, skills on technology, skills on big data, skills on how to measure and how to deal with artificial intelligence. But on the other side, to deal with humanities, because this is the more human economic sector. So of course we need a hybrid model between bringing leaders full of commitment, of communication skills, on political skills, but on the other side we need hard skills as well, and that combination will help us to create a high-level economic sector. Fourth of all, of course, we need investments, but not any kind of investments, green investments. Why green investments? As you have seen, tourism decreased by 75% during 2020. I have another fact. Foreign direct investment decreased 75% as well. So if we want investors back, of course, we need economic incentives, tax incentives, and everything related to political and legal stability with, of course, a very serious framework. But our aim in the UNWTO is to promote green investments, to promote that investors bring their capital to create sustainable cities, more modern cities, but of course inclusive cities, inclusive destinations, inclusive amusement parks that are full of commitment with the environment, with technology, with the human beings, and of course that thanks to their investments we can create added value jobs focused on the power of tourism. That's why we have been partnering with the International Development Bank, with the IFC, and with other international financial institutions, because we know that together, through a legal framework, through a political stability, and of course, with a multilateral message on what we know that will recover the sector again, we will have a very powerful message, and we can help investors to develop a tourism investment culture thanks to this framework. And last but not least, of course, sustainability. Most of the people think that being sustainable is about working with the environment and for the environment. And to be honest, being sustainable is not only talking about the environment, it's about at least working with communities, working with the most vulnerable people, working for inclusion, using technology for good, and of course, to take care about the environment. So, of course, after this pandemic, I have learned, and I know that you all have learned about how sustainability needs to be part of our lives. So, if we develop a more sustainable framework where innovators bring solutions for a more sustainable development, if we bring green investments, if we create curricula inside the institutions in order to promote sustainability, and last but not least, if we add value through our jobs in order to take care and to give back to the community, thanks to the tourism sector, we are using the sector to become from important to relevant. I know that today you will have a lot of conferences, but I would like to end with this final message, that is, the responsibility of recovering the tourism sector is from all the tourism ecosystem. Is not only the responsibility of the UNWTO, is not only the responsibility of the governments, it's not only the responsibility of the private sector. We all need to recover the tourism sector. To recover the tourism sector, responsibility is part of our job, and educating people, improving innovation, working on added value jobs, and developing a more modern, sustainable, and innovative tourism will help us to recover this sector again and to lead by example by using resilience and by using this high-level network that is the human network in order to improve the way people live, the way people travel, and the way people are educated. Thank you so much and enjoy the journey.
Thank you for joining. Niels, I'd like to start with you and ask you, like, as a minister, the words that Natalia told you, or that the ideas that she has, and those 5 main themes that she was mentioning, is that also within your plans, and does that match with what like the Ministry of Tourism here in Ecuador and like the politics of Ecuador try to achieve as well?
Hola, Bram. Hola, Claudia. And hi, everyone who's joining in this conversation. Thank you, Bram, for the invitation. So happy to be here and sharing this panel with you and Claudia. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
of course they are. So regarding innovation, I think we need to really think outside the box. The world has definitely changed. For instance, in Ecuador, we're working closely with the private sector to create more unique and authentic experiences. I think we need to make our industry user-friendly with technology as well. And as a Minister of Tourism, I'm working closely with the Minister of Education, and we're very close to launch a special program in public schools for the youth to have more knowledge and experience upon their graduation. And I agree with Natalia that we need to be working hard to attract green investment. In November, we will be running an investment summit in your hometown, in Quito, where we will be showcasing amazing investment opportunities in tourism in Ecuador to attract high-yield travelers. We will also be giving great incentives and a VIP treatment to investors who will create high-value jobs, mainly in rural areas for women and youth.
Amazing. And those investors, do you try to also make them like the green investors, that they are looking for sustainable, or like before in other governments there was ideas to make another Cancun out of certain beaches here of Ecuador?
No.
Is that's not the idea anymore? It's not those investors that you're looking for?
No. I mean, we're looking for sustainable green investment, businessmen to come and invest in Ecuador to create high value jobs, and businesses that will attract high value or high yield travelers to Ecuador. We know, Bram, you and I, and all the people from Ecuador who are joining this conversation, we know that Ecuador is not the destination for mass tourism. We are more about high yield tourism.
Correct. I agree completely with you. So Maria Claudia from We Travel, it's a complete different area that you're in, but you're an investor. You actually invest in South America, and you have technology that helps the travel industry doing transactions. How has your experience been in South America with the investments that you're doing, and since when did you start here in South America?
Well, it was 2 years ago, and I was very inspired by Natalia's opening, because I completely agree on how the challenges that we were already facing as an industry were accelerated by the pandemic. And coming from We Travel, which is a payment platform, it's a tech company that it's 100% focused in the travel industry. I could experience and see firsthand the struggles that the companies and all the changes that the companies were going through in order to survive. And so to put you guys in context, We Travel is a booking and payment platform. And as such, we are involved, of course, in the sales process of travel companies. But for a very long time, nobody was selling anything. The word stopped. Massive cancellations were happening everywhere. We all know the story. And of course, everybody had to make very difficult decisions, including us. And but after a certain point, you have to think ahead and decide, okay, so if I am making it through the end of this tunnel, how do I want to come out of it? And this is when I saw companies and travel industry professionals saying, okay, it is time to work on the things that I used to leave behind, maybe because I didn't consider them important before, or because we have always done things this way. And this was a time to improve processes, being more efficient with less resources, less people, more technology. And again, the pandemic accelerated the need to adopt these changes and get educated and ultimately improve as a company or as a travel industry professional, adopting processes that would have otherwise been left behind. So coming back to my role at We Travel specifically, we also had to switch the role. And from helping companies to sell more and taking more online payments to actually support companies in another way when nobody was selling anything. And aside from the customer service and the constant communication during this time, we wanted to contribute with our 2 cents and help companies in the We Travel community and help companies in general to actually get the skills that they needed to thrive after this. And that meant listening to what they need. Okay, what are they struggling at? Talking to our customers directly and asking them directly, what do you need? And trying to create educational content around that. And free workshops on the topics that they would ask for. For example, okay, it is time to redesign websites. And okay, we are going to partner with experts in website design for the travel industry and offer a free workshop about that. Managing cash flow, social media strategies. There were so many topics and we would organize these like every few weeks. We keep doing that. But then I'm not talking only about the We Travel webinars and content, but also all the amazing resources that are out there and we want to spread the word about. Like, for example, the World Tourism Organization has this amazing academy where travel professionals can get quality education and get certified. So we want to spread the word about that. The Census of South America, I thought it was an amazing event. Okay, let's tell everyone, because I think we wanted to be part of the solution and this part of this cooperation chain, if you will, because before the pandemic, and fortunately still right now, we work with travel companies of different sizes, but we work with so many small tour operators, independent travel organizers, communities, that we actually saw their struggle, and it was our responsibility. And I know that it has been said before, but I want to echo this once again, that we are all in this together, and it is the responsibility of each of us to contribute. No matter if you are a tour operator, if you are in tech, if you are a tourism board, if you are a governmental organization, if you are a payment provider, which is our case, we are all in this together. And we have to cooperate to move forward as an industry and to get back at the game and get back better. So
yeah, that has been amazing, Maria Claudia, to see that actually from what you and everybody thinks of a payment portal, that's just somebody that helps process a credit card. But actually, We Travel does way more. And that's something that I wanted to say thank you, because I think We Travel really created a community around it and did and delivered way more and added value to be a member of We Travel and work with We Travel. And having said that, I think that's very important for all of us to continue giving that added value. And going back to you, Niels, about that change that we're talking about like tourism wouldn't be the same before and after COVID. Is that something that you also believe? Do you think that tourism will change? Will we go back to the normal way that we were operating our trips, or will there be a certain change in mindset or in the demands that we're going to get?
No, I think it has definitely changed. You know how, well, the situation in COVID-19 in Ecuador, when it started, was pretty tough on us. We lost over 120,000 jobs. So this is about the 25% of the employees in the industry became unemployed. You know, tourism was the third contributor to our economy after shrimp and banana, and because of COVID, it fell to the 12th place. And remember, Ecuador was the first country to be hit by the pandemic in South America, pretty much at the same time New York was. Well, but the great news is that Ecuador has done an amazing job in the vaccination program. We have prioritized the vaccination to the tourism industry, and since 2 months ago, we became the first country in the region to have the whole tourism industry fully vaccinated. By December, we will reach 85% of the population fully vaccinated as well. So I think our industry is recovering, and we are really over the moon seeing travelers visiting Ecuador again. And I really think this is the perfect time to come and experience Ecuador. But I agree. I agree with you, Bram. I think and with you, Claudia, as well. The pandemic will change and will transform on how tourists or travelers travel the world and how do they make their decisions too. So I think now they will be asking more questions. Where will they be spending their money in the destination, if they will have a positive or a negative impact, for example. I think the pandemic has increased the consciousness of travelers as well. So I really think this is a great time for us, the tourism industry, to reimagine travel and innovate, like Natalia said before.
And out of a ministry, like to create that or help the local tourism industry here, like the restaurants, the hotels, the drivers, the DMCs, hotels, lodges, airlines, anything, to understand that new demand. Is there something out of the ministry that you're planning to help, or do you have any big data that Natalia was talking about, that maybe you know as a government that there's some information that you have access to that we don't? Is there something that you can tell us about that? Is there anything that you're preparing or looking into and understanding that change and explain that change, making sure that Ecuador is ready for it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are working very hard. We've been in this position for 4 months, so we're still working on the tourism plan that we're about to share with the DMCs, tour operators, and the industry as a whole, where we're going to be sharing what are our goals and what we want to reach by 2025, and what we're going to be doing in the next few years from the Minister of Tourism and from the government. We are planning on working on a Ecuador specialist program, so we can train the trade and make them experts on our destination, but focus on the tourism as a vehicle for conservation and development, because we really think that where tourism takes place, there has to be a positive impact. If there's a negative impact where tourism takes place, it shouldn't be taking place, first of all.
Exactly. Well, that's very good to hear, and thank you. And I think everybody is looking towards a more responsible, regenerative, and sustainable tourism into the next future. In We Travel, have you seen of course you saw the decline of sales coming in, and companies probably popping out of We Travel because they couldn't cope. Can you give us any good news now? Do you see that tourism is coming back? Is there a certain reactivation that we've been waiting for, or that has kind of said, well, 2021 is going to be the year that we're going to reactivate tourism? But is that really true? Can you see at We Travel that there's again more money being transferred?
Definitely. It started in other regions, honestly, but I am more focused in Latin America, and I saw Ecuador leading the charts, and then I recently visited Cusco, which is one of the most important cities here in Latin America, and I was pleasantly surprised to see tourism bouncing back. Still, of course, there is a long way to go, but what I really felt happy about was being able to visit the companies that we used to work for, small local tour operators that have remaining business, and they improve their processes, as I said before, because every time that I would visit them in their offices or in their homes, because most of them are doing home office, they would have been redesigning their websites and trying to improve other aspects of their business, and they're just waiting for the tourists to come. And to be honest, we are probably like at 20% of sales in comparison to 2019 levels, but it's continuously increasing. So hopefully we will see better numbers soon. But it was very nice to see that most of them have remained optimistic and that they haven't stopped working to make sure that they come back as best as possible.
Right. So real reactivation, it's not yet there, but it's a first step. So some companies have done the right thing of being active, and they've probably been the ones that are now operating, instead of those who have probably hit their head and crossed their arms and waited until something would pass by and take that as an advantage. I think people need to stay active. You have been very active at We Travel. The ministry has been active. What's the plan, Niels, for the coming months, years? Do you think like the big travel shows is that something that you think you will be joining again, or is there a plan of going to like the smaller, more intimate, personalized shows? Will you do everything? Do you have a change in your marketing ideas to go and show the world about Ecuador?
Yeah, I think we'll be from the Minister of Tourism of Ecuador. We're planning to participate in different travel shows in the upcoming years. We'll be putting more attention in the more intimate and small travel shows that they offer an experience to the buyers and the sellers. I think that goes more in hand with what we're doing from the Minister of Tourism. We're going to be doing a lot of fan trips, press trips. Ecuador hasn't had a PR in about 5 years now, so we're going to be hiring a great PR for the States, PR for the UK as well. We're just crossing fingers the region leaves the red list and we go green in the upcoming weeks, hopefully. But yeah, we're gonna be very aggressive in a good way in promotion and improving our connectivity as well. Ecuador hasn't been leading the charts of competitiveness in connectivity in the region. So that's something we really want to change. We just eliminated the 5% IST, which is a tax for airlines and international companies that they have to pay when they want to move their capital to their home country. So that's been eliminated to the international airlines. So we're just a step closer to sign the Open Skies Agreement. So we're really hoping to connect Ecuador, let's say, with LA, with Dallas, and other cities in the States, not only New York and Miami. But yeah, going back to your question, we're going to be doing a lot of digital strategies, working with content creators, social media influencers, and being very smart and resourceful with the public money. Just to give you an example.
Fantastic. No, that sounds very good. And yes, thank you. We need the open air. We need this open space. We need more connectivity. That has always been a struggle for Ecuador. I think we have the perfect playground here in South America to become more and better and create that tourism that everybody inhales. Like here in we everything is outdoors. It's clear. You can breathe. It's not. Everybody should be like interested in going to South America, and that's actually also something I'd like to highlight. And especially here at Census, we had one request for it. There's several Indian companies, and India is a big market for many different destinations. But Ecuador somehow has still a very strict visa and the requirement there. I'd love to just take this little opportunity, Niels, to put that in your head and take that to your Minister of Foreign Affairs and see whatever we can do to also make Ecuador more inclusive towards the world. Like we had a no visa policy years ago, and then again we got the visas in for certain countries. Maybe that would also help to create more tourism and get more tourism towards South America, because here we have an alliance. We need to work together now. I think after COVID and after this whole pandemic, alliances and working together is more and more important. So working together with our neighboring countries for like destinations far away that always come and do multi-country trips on one journey is important, and making sure that is kind of seamless for them without having to go through too many hassles is a big plus, and would open doors for Ecuador to a whole other dimension. Is that maybe something that you can help with? Is it something also that you're looking to alliances with our neighboring countries or with South America as a continent? In the end, we have to see us as one and the same destination. Maybe if we have a tour operator out of the UK selling Ecuador, they also sell Peru and they'll also sell Brazil. Why couldn't we together make that marketing effort towards the UK, for instance, and be more, what you say, make sure that the money that we invest in that is done more efficiently.
Yeah, exactly. We really need to be working as a as a unit, as a block. And yesterday, for instance, I was speaking to one of the ministers of the region, because we need to work with the UK, for example. And we've been working from the Minister of Tourism in Ecuador, speaking to LATA and different people from the private sector, with the ambassador of the UK in Ecuador, with the ambassador of Ecuador in the UK. And we're working very hard to figure it out what we need to do as a country to get off the red list, for example. But sometimes if that effort only comes from one country, which is Ecuador, it might not go a long way. So we really, that's the reason I was speaking to one of the ministers of the region yesterday. We really need to work as a bloc and make the trade, let's say in this example, the American trade or the UK trade or the German trade, whatever, when they want to book a trip to South America, try to make it as easier and as simple as possible. possible for them. Not having Ecuador with one type of restrictions or requisites to get into the country, Brazil, other one, Peru, Colombia, and we really need to work as a one team. And that's the opportunity the pandemic give us. You know, that's a good thing that can come up from a pandemic, working together toward one simple and big goal.
Fantastic. I'm very happy to hear that, and thank you for that. That gives a bright future to all of us. Just for the both of you, any final words that you would have to our buyers that are from all over the world, and of course our suppliers that are especially from South America, about what Natalia explained to us about the education? Do we have to improve? Where do we have to improve? Maybe your final suggestions from your side. Maria Claudia, you can go first.
Well, more than a suggestion, I have an observation that I have been so impressed and humbled during this crisis about the level of cooperation and the willingness to help several companies, no matter the size, the travel professionals sharing their knowledge selflessly just to collaborate and bring us all back. And everybody putting their 2 cents to try to recover, and seeing that makes me hopeful of a brighter future. So it's more like an observation that I wanted to share because it's something that I experienced myself, and I think that it's very important to point out.
Together, we're stronger.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Niels, do you have any final words you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, definitely. Just a quick invitation to the Census community to come visit us in Ecuador and South America. Come and experience the authenticity of our country, the hospitality of our people, and the crazy, beautiful wildlife that you can find in the Galapagos Islands, the Amazon rainforest, and other regions of Ecuador. Tour operators and DMCs have reimagined travel. In Ecuador, hotels are pretty much all open up and waiting for guests to arrive. New chefs and restaurants have opened their doors as well. So this is really the perfect time to come visit Ecuador and hang out with us. So hopefully we'll have a beer or have a ceviche when you come around.
That will be nice. I'll go for the beer and the ceviche.
I can make it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think it's been enlightening to see the power of a pandemic in the end, and the way everybody is looking and finding ways to fight it, and to find ways to come out stronger, to come out better, and to understand the need of a certain change. That change needs to be impulsed by everybody that's working in the tourism industry, making sure that we educate our travelers on being better travelers, better persons, and making sure that we all have a better planet. So thank you all for joining this session here at Census. I hope you have your last few bit of meetings, and we see each other at my farewell speech and closing act. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Niels. Thank you, Maria Claudia, for being here with us. It's been amazing, and I hope to see you both soon.